Hello. I hope you don't mind if I sit down. The day has been too long already, and this armor is heavy and uncomfortable. Do I make you uncomfortable? You look at me and you see the military power of Rome, an evil, conquering oppressor in the land. This is fair. Ah, but perhaps you noticed that my shield is oval, not square. And my garb, my military garb, is sort of scrappy. I am not one of Rome's powerful legion, but I am an auxiliary soldier, a local recruit. Local and Jewish, which means I may be more like you than you think. Or now you think even less of me because I am one of you who has sold out to the Roman Empire. Whatever your impression, please allow me to unburden my conscience and tell you a little bit of my story. My name is Baruch. I never aspired to be a soldier. Never. I grew up in Jericho, on the outskirts of town. We were very poor. You may find that hard to believe. Yes, I am speaking of the same Jericho where Herod has his winter palace, where agriculture and commerce thrive, where outcasts line the roads, begging from the passing traders and elite residents. My father has lived there for generations, but as this new empire grew, so did our debt, almost to the point of ruin. And I wasn't about to let my sisters become debt slaves. So, when I was old enough, I signed up to be an auxiliary recruit. That was 8 years ago. You know, if I make it for my 25 years of service, I will get some land of my own, and Roman citizenship for both me and my entire family. You may ask, why would I, a Palestinian, want that? Well, that's a good question. But you know, it gives me the right to own my property, and I can avoid some of those blasted taxes. Oh, and I get legal rights, including the right to be protected from torture, whipping, and the death penalty. Oh, hopefully I will never have to exercise that right. In this world, any advantage could help make a way forward for me and my family. I hope. My current assignment is here in Bethlehem for the census. That's why all of you are here, right? You know, I saw some of your young artists out there rendering beautiful pictures of Bethlehem. You have to look at them on the way out. When I was first stationed here, I did not get to draw beautiful pictures. I was told to move dirt, literally road construction. The Romans love their roads, and there are lots of us auxiliary guides around to provide the labor. But now I have a new assignment. I'm supposed to assist in keeping things orderly and peaceful, which I will take gladly as a break from these aching muscles. But it is mayhem here. No one seems to think these things through. All the people coming back into the area, there are not many options for places to sleep if you need to stay overnight. Some of the more nomadic types have no trouble with this, but others struggle. Like yesterday, for instance, I met a man and a woman, and this woman looked like she was about to give birth. He was at such a loss, poor soul. Even asked me if there was any room in our encampment. The desperation, it was palpable. I directed him to lodging in town, but he said he had already been there. He was from Nazareth. A 100-mile trip with a pregnant wife? You see, Caesar Augustus has required that everyone show up for the census of his conquered lands. So he knows how much more wealthy he will become. And around here, in these parts, people often pay their taxes from their crops and animals. This poor guy with the pregnant wife, I am not sure how he landed so far from his ancestral home. It could be debt, famine, war. We've all had plenty of it all. There are many like him, I know. I have been there. And I don't need to explain to you the heavy tax burden on our people, paying tributes to Caesar, taxes to Herod, and the temple tithe. But I can tell you one thing. This census is to make sure that Caesar gets the maximum. And Herod, he continues to bleed the Jewish subjects dry. Herod used the Roman legion to conquer these lands, but mind you, I was not one of them. And then he gives our money to alien cities and imperial officials for his own and for Caesar's glory. They don't put that in the census announcement. Listen up, all you subjects. A mandatory census is coming. It will bring greater poverty and exploitation. Hurry up, come on now. Actually, they don't need to say it. Everyone knows what this is about. I tell you, I am more like you than you might have first perceived. But some advice, friends. Best to talk softly and keep your head down here in Bethlehem. Okay? Can I tell you something? I often doubt I will make it to the end of my service. 25 years is a long time. But thank goodness, I still have the 3 gold coins that were given to me when I was recruited. But honestly, I was pretty desperate. I had to take the chance for my family and for me to have a better life, but honestly, I don't think this is going to happen under the Roman Empire. Only the people at the very top benefit. And the greed, the paranoia, the self-serving rulers, they make my stomach turn. I've spoken to some of the Italian soldiers, the ones that are the real citizens and soldiers of Rome, and one centurion told me all about Herod. The guy is so volatile. I mean, he has built a lot of stuff. I will give him that. But most of it seems to be for impressing Caesar and for his own personal gain. The Winter Palace in Jericho. Herod is a poser. He campaigns like he is a Jewish king, but the Jews, we aren't buying it. We know he's only half Jewish. We are being crushed by the taxes. And it feels like he is trying to sabotage our Jewish culture. He actually had the audacity to put a Roman golden eagle on the temple gate. Whew. And my source in Rome tells me now that Herod has basically gone mad. The guy is totally paranoid. He's obsessed with his seat on the throne, and he hates it that he does not fit into the Jewish world or really into Rome, even though he was made a Roman citizen. Herod is Caesar's pawn. And you know, I do hate to engage in rumors and speculation, but apparently there are signs that a new ruler is about to be born from the Jews. Herod is at his wit's end. He keeps summoning all those who might know something about the ancient prophecies and the stars and the chief priests, who, by the way, are also in his pocket. My guide tells me that if a new king does present himself, he won't last long. Herod loves his sword. I mean, that guy is a murderer. He killed his wife's family, and even his own 2 sons. I don't need to tell you that these are rough times that we are living in. Lots of upheaval and discontentment. And the farmers and the fishermen and townspeople hold Herod and Rome and everyone who holds wealth and power in contempt. Everyone is struggling under this military dictatorship. Everyone is coerced. And when harvest times come, you see it. Maybe some of you have experienced it. It is 1 bag of your crop for yourself and 1 bag for Herod or for Caesar. It is a precarious existence. The rich prosper, and we peasants suffer. You see it here, right here in Bethlehem. Bethlehem means house of bread. Ha! Not much bread to spare around here. It is really hard to believe sometimes that one of our great kings was from this city. King David, the anointed. Oh, that we could have a ruler again with half his heart. That would be a great improvement. Anything but Herod. Bethlehem, might you be able to bring a new king from our people? Oh, what's that, sir? Yes, I was talking to these good people about how to go about the census. I won't be long, sir. Hail Caesar. Friends, I am tired. I am tired of the poverty I see all around me. I am tired of watching Rome fill its pockets. Is it crazy to imagine a ruler that is fair and benevolent, who will make the feet of the poor powerful, who does not raise himself higher on the backs and pockets of others, who can end this oppressive empire? Do I dare hope for this? Again, please, you must keep this all to yourselves. I have said too much already. As I tell you my story, I realize I am more confused than ever. Nothing seems very clear. Have you ever considered a major change in your life, my friends? When you realize that the current circumstances that you're in really don't fit who you believe you are in the moment. When they don't resonate with your heart and your mind. I was just 18. It did feel like a way to crawl out of poverty and ruin, and maybe, in the best of circumstances, maybe help my people as a compassionate upholder of order. But I did swear allegiance to the emperor. I am so glad my father was not alive to see that. But what would you do to escape a hopeless situation? To feed your family? To have a chance at a future? But now I find myself part of something that is crushing my people. I serve a system that cares only for money, power, and subjects to keep submissive. I remember my father. My father, on the Sabbath, he would tell stories of our people. We loved listening to him. He would also repeat some of the words of the prophets, like Isaiah. He shall judge many peoples and shall arbitrate between strong nations far away. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. He told me this was his hope, that the time of David's rule would come again, but would be even better. We would ask him, when, Dad, when? No one knows, he would tell us. But patience comes to those who wait. The prophet Micah says that a time of peace will be ushered in, and we will live secure, not living by fear. Is it possible to have such a realm? And is there room in that realm for me? Friends, as I speak of my father, I feel shame that I have served Caesar, who claims to be the savior of the world. He is worshiped and praised for this like a deity. He is hailed for bringing peace and order and prosperity. Ha! Peace by the tip of the sword and the point of the spear. Anyone who challenges Caesar's reign will need God's favor indeed. The world is not orderly or peaceful. This empire of Caesar, well, it thrives while everyone keeps their subordinate place and pays their dues. Herod has helped see to that. Judea was beaten into submission. I can take it no longer. Father, please forgive me, but I am done with patience. Friends, thank you for hearing me out, and please forgive me for my office if it has caused you any pain. I am ready, and I am convinced to give my allegiance to something more noble, more hopeful, majestic, and true, the God of my father and my mother and many generations before. I am ready to hope in the one of peace. In that one is my future. Well, I must go now. My commander will be looking for me. So, good to talk with you, my friends. God keep you and all your loved ones safe. And you know, perhaps I will go find that poor father-to-be and help him find lodging for he and his wife. At least that may bring some peace of mind.
Thank you, Renee, or Baruch. And how striking is it that your story helps us to see how things today are so strikingly the same as they were 2,000 years ago, and how much we need to cling to Micah's prophetic words that invite us to trust and seek peace. Well, as we prepare for a time of prayer, I'd invite you to just be aware of how you're feeling. Take a moment to take a breath and feel your body. And if you feel like standing to stretch, you can. If you are at home and you have found yourself standing or need to move, I invite you to do that. Let's take a moment and pray. Jehovah, God of Israel and beyond, you were Israel's great liberator. God incarnate, Jesus, you came to set the prisoners free. How we long to know your freedom in our own hearts, in our world. We've felt locked up for so long by COVID, and now a new variant may have us feeling boxed in again. Its impact will continue to lay bare the inequities of our racist institutions, the corporate greed so indifferent to needs of people of other countries. Light of the world, illumine our paths. Thank you for this Advent season, this time of literal darkness, a time where we find ourselves drawing inward, where we sometimes find simple comforts in warm clothes and enjoy cocoa or the glow of a Christmas tree, but also a season where for many we find ourselves sinking into worsened mental health, where frayed relationships with people we love are felt more strongly, a time when our loneliness is magnified. Lord, thank you for our Union Family's Advent Prayers of Justice series. As we read each daily prayer and get to know other Union Church people and see their hearts, give us the courage and trust they so boldly and beautifully convey. Thank you for the many ways you speak and act through all of us. When we think of our worship team, prayer directors, our elders and 415 Commons leaders, our facilities staff, James B. and Renee, those working with children, those preparing food for our Seattle neighbors, in all of these people and their service, we see you. You become embodied to us, and your love and renewing spirit activity is made clear. Still, even as we praise you and see you, we are troubled. Thank you for our dear Norma and Randy, who trust you in this difficult, precarious moment of health. We ask you for your continued care also for Bo, Lori, Laura, and others facing or recovering from serious illness. When we consider just this past week, gun violence is all around us again. Here in Michigan, there's such a huge prevalence of guns and gun violence. What is it that we fear, O Lord? Even as we trust you, this also makes us feel your absence. We see trouble go unanswered, and we raise our fists and plead with you. Please take the things that lead to such violence, our patriarchy, our understanding of masculinity, the things that lead so many men to act violently, and undo them. And finally, God, we think too about the Earth's climate hanging in the balance, the Tigray region of Ethiopia, and its killings and starvation, the specter of Supreme Court politics, states desperate to keep white voters easily going to the polls and others left out. The list of woes is long and heavy. Help us act in ways appropriate to our finite lives and see that you, Jesus, are the hoped-for Messiah, whom we can trust and petition for peace, for wisdom, for resolve, for patience, and to make us just uncomfortable enough to always want to join you on the journey of setting ourselves and others free. Help us to live this week both unsettled and yet in your shalom as we work to love you and love our neighbor. Amen.